Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a program full of insight and information related to bass tournaments with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. A show dedicated to making you a better bass fisherman with one-on-one interviews with winning anglers. Your host, Kevin Jean, Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, who's no stranger to tournament success. An avid angler who understands how to compete at a high level. Daiwa and Camus Boats Pro Staffer, Steve Graff, a successful angler in his own right, who continues to pursue tournament-winning stringers. So, get ready to take notes from two knowledgeable anglers here on Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Hey, don't turn that channel. You have tuned in to the best outdoor show on podcasts. Hey, Tackle Talk Live. We are here today, and Kevin Jean down there in South Louisiana, Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing. I'm Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, and we got a good show lined up today, Kev. I'm looking forward to having our great guests we've got coming on today. We got some good topics we're going to talk about today. Toledo Bend is kind of the primary target today, so we're going to talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we get Matt Loetscher comes on once a year with us, Steve. We kind of pick the best time, and being this past weekend, there's no tournaments and not much fishing that took place. Figured it was a good time to have Matt come on. I know he's been out, I think, the last couple of days. He was out a lot before all the freezing, so he's a guy for living the dream and does a lot of crappie, but does a lot of bass fishing this time of year. So it'll be a great time to get him to come on. I know we have the Fishers of Men tournament, a big Fishers of Men coming up this weekend on Toledo Bend. So it'll be a great time to talk Toledo Bend here with Matt today.
Yeah. And, Kev, first and foremost, this latest winter storm we just had absolutely just kind of crippled the South. Everything Mason-Dixon line south was just absolutely inundated with sleet, ice, snow. It was absolute nightmare. And so a lot of tournaments got postponed, moved over to another day down the line, another month or so. And even right now in the Southeast, the Carolinas, Northern Florida, they are getting hammered again with sleet and snow as we speak. And so I look for more cancellations in that region over there with what's going on.
Yeah, and the Bassmaster Elite Series is their first tournaments this week over there on Guntersville. And I've been seeing some of the social media posts about those guys over there. I know like yesterday, it was half of them, a lot of the posts I saw, a lot of the guys didn't launch till like noon on day one of practice. But Steve, I don't recall a previous year that we had big tournaments canceled back-to-back weekends. So 2 weeks ago, we had the BFL canceled, or a week and a half ago, we had the BFL canceled on Toledo Bend.
Right.
The very next week, this past weekend, we had the Outlaw Outdoors canceled on Sam Rayburn. I don't recall, there's been a lot of cancellations, but I don't recall back-to-back weekends like that.
No, I don't either. And of course, we ain't had a winter storm like this in probably 5 or 6 years that's come through our region like this. And so I think
not for this long amount of time.
No, it hadn't been this cold this long. You're right. Almost 2 weeks we've been in the, in the 20s at night. And so I think tonight's going to be the first night. It's going to be above freezing in like 10 days. And again, it hasn't been. And of course, it brings up the other question, and when people ask me this, there's two answers to the question. Oh, we're starting too early. Oh, I've seen years in January and early February, you're wearing shorts. There's been years where it hadn't had an effect at all on the tournament trail. But all of a sudden we have 1 year now, and everybody's like, well, we need to start later. We need to start later. But what they don't understand, Kevin, is boat ramp situation. Trying to lock down boat ramps is very difficult for these major tournament trails.
And also January and February is the biggest turnouts for tournaments. Also.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, March, April thing, a lot of things start happening. People get more and more busy.
Yeah.
So, that's part of it. But Steve, there's some big fish being caught also right now. Toledo Bend, I know of 2 11-pounders that's gotten caught.
Yeah.
Which we'll kind of talk about today as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We got some guys catching some big ones over there. So big fish are coming in. We got the Outlaw Outdoor Team Series, like you said, is rescheduled for Sunday, March 29th. We'll talk a little more about that. Also, the no forward-facing sonar and almost all the outdoor outlaw events. We'll discuss that a little bit. And so we're going to take a quick break, recognize a few of our sponsors. When we return, we're going to talk with Toledo Bend guide Matt Loetscher. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category. Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. This segment presented by the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches. Got insurance needs, boat, truck, car, camper, whatever you got. Hey, check them out. Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches. Toledo Health Clinic. Get a hook in your hand. Hey, go see those guys. They'll jerk it right out for you. Cypress Knee Outdoors, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana, as well as our newest sponsor, Lost Frontier Park. And hey, look, Kevin, I know you got a sweet thing on that your better half. And hey, if you're looking for a place to take her to eat, and now under new management, yes. Lost Frontier Park, Chase Collins' family, they're having a Valentine's Day treat. You treat your special someone to a great dining experience. They've got a prime rib steak with rustic mashed potatoes and green beans. You can get lobster tomato pasta with toasted garlic bread and salad. Or
Steve, this is not the time to be talking about that. Now we're right before lunch.
Or chicken Parmesan pasta with toasted garlic bread and salad. All this taking place February 13th and 14th, right there around Valentine's Day. But you need to make reservations. For reservations, you call 409-404-9972. Matt's probably already made his reservation. 409-404-9972. Check them out. Lost Frontier Park. All right, Matt. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. And you're right. There's a good chance I'll be there. Chasing those guys do a great job.
Yeah, they really do. They do. I'm so glad they took that park back over again. And because he headed in the right direction when he sold it. And boy, he was so disappointed on how they handled it after he sold it. He wanted it back. And I'm glad he got it back. So anyway, all right, man. Okay. Toledo Bend. Hey, a lot always going on this time of year at Toledo Bend, but it's been kind of cold. A lot of boat ramps had ice on them. So a lot of guys didn't go fishing. What kind of shape is the lake in right now after this hard winter blast we just had?
Well, in my opinion, the lake's in great shape. We've had lower water levels throughout the fall and winter this year. And in my opinion, that's a wonderful thing. It does a lot of good for the lake, particularly for all the vegetation getting into the springtime. but also even more so for the winter time, that lower water level, what that does is, for one, it keeps the water a lot cleaner when you're not having a lot of rainfall, and or even if you do get a big rain, if that water level's already kind of down a little bit, the lake doesn't tend to muddy up as much because you don't have all of that fresh earth, I guess you could call it, kind of washing off as much into the stuff. It flows that stuff through the creeks better and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so the water's, fairly clean throughout the whole lake, which is a big factor this time of the year because, we all know cold, muddy water is one of the toughest ways to catch them. Yeah. So when you have that, it eliminates those areas basically. And, there's not much of that. So it allows the anglers to spread out more, which we all love that as well. And then on top of that, just the cold water tends to put the fish in some predictable places. In some cases it stacks them up in big numbers in the schools, and so it's just a good deal. So the lake, all those things being said, it's fishing pretty good.
Matt, so my question is, what water temps are you seeing here lately?
Since the freeze, we're looking at the kind of upper 40s. I think about the coldest I've seen on the main lake was 46, which is, that's about as cold as it ever really gets here. We rarely get below 45. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hit that bottomed out wintertime temperature. Warm afternoon, it might get up there close to 50. Now, if you do go back in some of the creeks and coves, shallower areas, you might see it a little colder than that, especially in the morning. Just less water volume in those areas. It cools off a little more at night. But main lake temperatures, you're looking in the basically mid to upper 40s.
And you got a good warming trend coming up here pretty quick for the next five to 7 days. It's going to be in the 60s. And so we could end up getting in the upper 40s, low 50s by next week.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, it looks like we're seeing some high temperatures. I'm looking at right now, 50s and even touching almost around 70. So for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, it definitely is going to warm up a little bit.
I tell you, I think fishers and men are going to hit the nail on the head with this tournament this coming weekend. I know what the forecast is like touching 70 on Saturday. I don't know what the winds are doing, but man, because the fish are biting. Matt, kind of talk us a little bit about what you've been doing lately, kind of how you've been catching them, and how your trips have been lately, your bass fishing trips.
Yes, sir. So, like you said, who knows what the winds will be doing between now and then, but it is definitely a great time. We're in the full moon period right now. They're going to be past that for the next weekend. So you may not have, the bite's always better around the full moon, but this time of the year, the fish are getting pretty aggressive. Just because, we're getting to that period where we're really starting to think more pre-spawn. And they're really, I'm seeing more and more big bites. Seems like every day that I go out, I see more and more big fish biting. Yeah. And I'm seeing more aggressive activity out of those bigger fish, particularly as we get closer. Now that we're in February now, it's the second. So, we're really getting close to that phase where they're going to start transitioning. And so it's a good time for sure to be out there. We're definitely seeing that happening where, like I said, the bigger bites are coming and you're seeing more aggressiveness out of the fish.
Matt,
you can catch them shallow and deep right now too, Matt. Even with that water temperature, like I said, we're in that pre-spawn mode. Yeah. I mean, there's a rattle trap bite happening, there's a bladed jig bite happening, but you can catch them out deep too, as well. Which route have you went the last couple of trips?
Absolutely. So I'm doing a little bit of both. Some days the wind forces me to kind of stay in those shallower areas. And thankfully we have some pretty good vegetation in parts of the lake right now, and that helps a lot too, because that will hold those fish shallow no matter how cold it gets. But I'm fishing deep offshore main lake stuff as much as I can, wind permitting, basically. This has kind of been a weird winter this year. The lake has fished a little differently than it normally does. And I think that was mainly just because it was so warm throughout the fall and most of the winter until now, that the fish really stayed in more of a fall mode. A lot of those fish stayed a lot shallower, a lot longer than they normally would. Normally by the end of December, most of those shallow fish have there's more deep fish than there is shallow fish. But this year you kind of kept more of an even split than with the shallow and the deep bite than you normally would see. And I think that was just because of the warmer temperatures. Just those fish are more comfortable up there. A lot of them just didn't pull out. And then now, something else I've noticed just through experience over the years is you come to a certain point in the year, regardless of which season you're talking about, but these fish, they get ready to make their transition. Well, if the weather is not in such a way that kind of forces them into that transition they would normally make, they'll just kind of stay where they are and they'll never leave.
Yeah.
But with Matt, with the tournament coming up this weekend, Fishers of Bend, the north end of the lake, this time of year, that north end can be a big player for tournaments. Do you see that happening this week, or are guys going to want to go down south and get in the grass?
I think the wind will be a major determining factor in that.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because we have, I love the lower water levels, but it's a catch-22. The thing about the lower water levels is it's going to keep a lot of those fish more out on the main lake, on that north end of the lake, because, up there, they don't have much deep water to get in the drains and in the creeks.
Right.
And so they're going to be they're definitely more main lake oriented up there. So if the wind allows, yes, that north end could definitely be a big player. Now, if the wind is bad and you get stuck in the creeks up there, a guy could find some bigger ones, but from what I've seen lately, there's just not a lot of bigger fish that have moved in to those, those drains and those creeks yet in that pre-spawn phase. So if you get the wind, I think the south end of the lake may fare a little better, fishing over, the deeper drains and the deeper grass and stuff like that.
What would be the primary technique if you were going to have a couple of rods on the deck? We talking A rig, we talking a C rig, Carolina rig, was crankbait? What are we talking?
Man, it can kind of run the whole gamut right now. Of course, this time of the year, particularly around the grass, you're always going to have, the red rattle trap thing going on. You're always going to have a little bit of the chatterbait bite, the Alabama rig bite. The Alabama rig is definitely a great one. It's a very powerful tool this time of year if you're fishing a tournament that allows it, because, it's a very effective bait, whether you're shallow or deep. I treat it basically just like a big spinnerbait. You can throw it over the grass. You can throw it in the drains. You can throw it out deep on the edge of a river channel ledge. You can throw that thing anywhere. And so it's definitely a powerful tool to be using right now, and it catches fish of all sizes. So it's a great bait for that. It's going to, once again, kind of go back to the weather. If you have more of the wind and nasty weather, it kind of lends itself to that, Alabama rig or the trap or something like that. If you have, a calm, bright, sunny day, I'm catching a lot of fish on a Carolina rig right now. That's definitely a good player. Catching some fish on a Texas rig worm as well. Just your basic stuff, nothing real crazy. It's more about just getting around them right now. But there's definitely a lot of different ways that you can catch them. I haven't been using a crankbait much myself lately, but I'm not going to say it couldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matt, we all know there's good grass on the south end of the lake, from Indian Mounds housing down. There's some good grass, especially on the Texas side. What about up around the bridge area and up, up the lake? Are you finding much hydrilla or anything up that way?
No, unfortunately, there's not much. There's a little bit in some shallow areas, but up there, unfortunately, it just hasn't taken hold good out deeper up there. That seed base, I guess, is just not there from when we had those big floods. A lot of that stuff got silted over, and it's had a real hard time coming back out on that deeper stuff. So really right now,
even up around Blue Lake,
in areas like, you can find some there, but it's pretty shallow.
Gotcha.
It's pretty much all those areas up there like that. And then over on the Texas side, it's kind of the same story. There's very little. A few of the creeks have a little bit, but it's so shallow. It's just not going to be as much of a player, I don't think, right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Matt, what about give us an update on the Sabine Town wreck, the new boat ramp on the Texas side? What's going on with that? Is it open yet?
I had actually heard that there was it maybe even this Fishers and Men tournament.
Yeah,
I think
I'm excited. It better get open by this weekend.
Yeah, I know they're supposed to use it, but I didn't know if it was open yet.
That's all I know. As far as I know, it's not open yet. I know they've done a ton of work there. They're building one heck of a facility. But that's as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I think when we had Mr. Dick on a couple weeks ago, Steve, it was supposed to open the week of, maybe even Thursday, Friday, or it might not even open before this event. They might kind of open it for this event and finish up some things afterwards. My understanding.
Yeah, I don't. Do you know where they're going out of if they don't go out of that ramp?
No, I don't. I
know
haven't heard but I'll check in and we'll see whatever he'll make an announcement. Fishermen we'll share it on our page.
Yeah.
Matt, kind of looking at, the upcoming season for Toledo Bend. There's been a lot of big fish caught lately. With the shape that the lake's in, I think it's in great shape. I think it's in really good shape. I thought we had a really good year last year. I'm looking for a very big 2026. I'm seeing some good fish catches, quality, quantity, all looks pretty good to me. I think it's really setting up to be a good year for Toledo Bend. Give me your thoughts.
I agree 100%. Toledo Bend has been trending up just across the board on the bass fishing for the last 2 to 3 years. Last year we saw more 10-pounders come in than we've seen in a long time. And we're already, particularly after this cold front, we've already seen several 10-plus pound fish weighed in through that lunker program. And so, I definitely think we're looking for good things to happen in 26. I'm really excited to kind of get the busy season kicked off because I think it's going to be a great year.
Good deal. All right, Matt. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time and giving these guys some good information that are getting ready to fish Fishers of Men.
Matt, if there's somebody who wants to go out with you on a trip, how can they contact you? Or is it going to the Living the Dream website? How do they contact you?
Yeah, the best way is to you can go to either ltd.fish. That's our website. You can book me there. You can find out all the information you want to see there about our trips, or you can call 318-256-8991. We have ladies in the office there always ready to answer the phone and answer any questions you have. Or if you really need to talk to a guide, they'll put you in touch with me. You can find me on Facebook and all that good stuff. So we're easy to find, and we'd love to have you.
Man, if you wanted to line up a crappie trip, what's the most number of people you can put on a barge for a crappie trip?
We carry a maximum of 6 because that's the type of captain's license we have. On Toledo Bend, we're required to have a captain's license.
Right.
And so we have those 6-pack charter licenses, and that's why we carry 6 max.
Okay. All right. That's good information. All right.
Good deal. Matt, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right, Matt Loetscher, living the dream, and we appreciate him coming on. Kevin did a good job giving a good lake breakdown, kind of what's been going on, what's going to maybe happen in the future, and he's always got good information and very, very knowledgeable angler.
Yeah, Steve, I was surprised that water temp it was 46. He found 46 Main Lake being the coldest that he has found lately.
Right.
I was worried that water temp was going to get down to 44, 45. And when it gets to 45 and below, that's not good. It's just a shock. We never see that type of water temp. So good to hear that it only got down to 46, 47, and even upper 40s in the back of the pockets, because this week it's going to come up. It's going to be low 50s Main Lake this week after these 70-degree waves and these warm nights. Like I said, Steve, I think it's going to be a feeding frenzy starting about Friday and Saturday for that Fishers of Men. I think you're going to see very big weights in that Fishers of Men.
Yeah, and you've got a rain coming in Tuesday night. I believe 80% chance of rain. So I hope it's a warm rain, which I think it might be. Yeah, I think it's a warm front coming through. So, and after that, it's clear as a bell, I think all the way for the next 5 to 7 days after that. So very little participation expected. And but anyway, all right. Well, we're going to take another quick break. When we return, we got lake level reports. We got upcoming tournaments. Got a tip of the week. So we'll have all that and more when we return. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. Or give him a call at 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to our final segment of this week's Tackle Talk Live. This segment is sponsored by Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Knee Outdoors, located right off I-49, the exit 128, I believe, just south of Natchitoches. Shimano Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. Kevin, if you mention Tackle Talk Live, what happens?
$500 off the purchase of any new or used boat, Steve, or you get $50 off your service ticket. So make sure to tell the guys at Tackle Talk Live sent you over there at Power Implements Marine and save you some money. So,
and we've also got our newest sponsor, Lost Frontier Park and Marina, now under new management, Chase Collins and his family. And again, if you're looking for a place for Valentine's Day to treat your special someone to a great dining experience, they've got prime rib steak. This is a three meal special. They got prime rib steak with rustic potatoes and green beans, lobster tomato pasta with toasted garlic bread and salad, or you can order chicken Parmesan pasta with toasted garlic bread and salad. All this taking place for February 13th and 14th. For reservations, you probably need to make reservations for this. 409-404-9972. That's 409-404-9972. And that's a restaurant located right there inside Frontier Park. Great food, great people, great accommodations. They'll take care of you right there at Lost Frontier Park. And so glad to have them back on board with us.
Steve, so this past weekend, a lot of the tournaments were canceled. Outlaw over on Sam Rayburn, so on and so forth. They had a MLF high school qualifier. I think it was a qualifier. I forget what it was, but it was a big high school tournament on Toledo Bend. I was very shocked that, that was brutal. That had to have been brutal Saturday. But Steve, they still called them. First place was Austin West, Jake Ardwin. I'm going to say that as a Cajun name. Sacred Heart. They had 23-9, Steve.
Wow.
Second place, Cullen Dickerson, Copen Grabert. South Beauregard High School, they had 22-5. Third place, Ethan Thrash and Bradley Herring, Darbone Woods. They had 20.6. Fourth place, Jackson Peak and Brandon Thomas out of Rose Pine High School. They had 17.6. Fifth place, Michael Watkins, Clint Turrentine, Alexandria Senior High over there at Ash had 16-15. That's the top 5 rounding out, Steve. So
do you know how many they have, Kevin? Do you know how many they had?
I don't know the exact number of boats they had. I
was curious what the turnout was for that. You know, I'm hearing rumor that I talked to somebody at Rayburn. I can't remember who it was, one of the guys that guides over there, and he was telling me how those numbers are down for high school tournaments. They're not having the 400 like they used to have all the time.
Right.
What you kind of expected at some point for it to kind of go down a little bit. They just couldn't sustain that level. It was hot for a while. It was a new thing. I think things are starting to settle down with high school fishing, and actually visiting with Kevin Van Dam, he kind of predicted that it would happen that way because his comment was, today's young kids, they if they don't have success early, they tend to fall away. And he's right. I think he's right on that. But anyway, okay.
Steve, would you have wanted to be out there Saturday though?
Oh, heck no. I had my partner, Brett Hartman, he called, wanted me to go Thursday. You want to go fishing or something? No, I don't care to go do that when it's this. I hate doing when I have to do it for a tournament, but if I'm not in a tournament coming up, I'm not going out there in 28, 24 degree weather no more. I'm just not going to do it.
Anyway. And talking about high school, the SETX high school tournaments at Sam Rayburn this weekend. along with the RTT tournament. And I think it's a 40 and up. Let me make sure, but I think it is a 40 and up tournament, 40 years old. And let me make
And
sure.
most of those high school tournaments go out of Jackson Hill Marina up on above the 147 bridge right there. A lot of those go out of Jackson Hill. I don't know where they're going after this one, but I know a lot of them go out of there.
Yeah, so the RTT tournament this weekend is 40 and over bass tournament. Old guys. Old guys.
At least they won't have the freezing cold temperatures, hopefully.
Yeah, and then you'll have the Fishers in at Toledo Bend. So look for there to be good weights in all of those events, Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn this weekend.
Right.
So
also coming up next week, Kevin, we'll talk about it next week. The Toyota Series is headed for Sam Rayburn. And also
very next week
in conjunction, almost at the same time, Bassmaster Open is on Sam Rayburn February 13th and through the 15th. So there's
19th through the 21st is open. It's the next weekend.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So they act like I mean, maybe I had my dates wrong.
I've got February 12th.
They're back-to-back weeks. I know
yes,
that.
They're back-to-back weeks. Yes.
Okay. So you got two major events coming in there real quick. And so it'd be interesting to see how Sam Rayburn fishes. We'll get some good reports from Sam Rayburn next week.
Mm-hmm.
February 21st, the BFL is out of Sammy Gill on Toledo Bend. Makeup tournament that they just moved will be the next day on Sunday. The BFL also out of Sammy Gill be the makeup tournament. And so if you're looking to fish the BFLs, plan on being there back-to-back days if you're going to fish follow the circuit. So Bass Champs goes to Lake Fork February 21st. 22nd, what are those? February 22nd. Yeah, what's coming up?
Outlaw Team Series number 2 on Sam Rayburn, which will be number 1.
You're right.
It comes up on Sam Rayburn for that weekend, and then the makeup BFL, you got that one, and then February 28th, the Texas Team Trail on Toledo Bend.
Now, do you find the Texas team are they starting later? Is this normal for them?
No, they're not starting the tournament later. They might be starting it later, but they're not coming to Rayburn twice like they normally do. They usually have. But Texas Team Trail usually goes a little bit later. It's more mid-February, beginning of February.
Right.
And they usually start on Rayburn, but they're at the end of February this year. Probably Toyota and Bass moved them back. But yeah, they're a little later than normal.
You know, Kevin, it's a little early to be concerned about this, but I don't know. I hope we don't end up having a problem with the lake levels right now. Toledo Bend's at 167.55. It's 4.45 feet low right now. And here we are basically February 1st, first week in February. And normally we're not this low this time of year. And I'm hoping this don't have an effect on our spawn later on.
Whenever the spawn starts to happen, we can't be going up and down or down mainly. You know, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, I mean, high water is always best for the spawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little concerning. It's a little low for the time of year it is, and but you still got the whole month of February to kind of see what happens here.
Yeah, and what you don't want to happen either. I mean, it's kind of catch-22, but you don't want to have the fish blow their eggs in 4 foot of water, and all of a sudden it jumps up 4 feet, and now those eggs are in 8 foot of water,
right?
And not getting the sunlight that they need. And so, man, I don't know. I hope this next Tuesday, I hope this little bit of rain coming in is a good shower, a good couple of inch rain where it start to fill these lakes back up a little bit.
Yeah, we need that Dallas area up there to get some rain.
Yeah,
Lake Fork, we need it to get some rain up there around that East Texas, Northeast Texas to get some rain, so we can get some of that water coming down. So
Sam Rayburn 154.96. It's still down 9.44 feet, guys, and so still. Be careful. All I can tell you, if you're fishing Sam Rayburn, be extra careful over there right now. Lake of the Pines 228.4. It's only 1.6 foot down, and I'm headed over there hopefully by the end of this week. And surprised that one's kind of holding its own. I don't know if they're pulling water from somewhere to keep Pines up, but they had a 48 inch gain, half an inch of rain gain. I guess some of the rain that come through there. And Fork is at 399.95. Been at that number for quite a while. It's 3.05 feet low. And talked to my good friend Johnny Geis. Matter of fact, I got Johnny on tomorrow, hooking up, tracking down. But the lake has been fairly normal. The lake's fishing very well. The crappie guys are out there, they're catching them. And so bass are starting to show up. And Lake Fork he's expecting a banner year this spring for Lake Fork.
Yeah, it again, Steve, Lake Fork and Toledo Bend both being 3 and 4 feet low. That area, we need some rain up there in that area. Fort needs it. It needs to come on down for Toledo Bend. And Rayburn definitely needs it. Well, and the tournaments are going to happen no matter what, but you sure would like to see the lakes get some more water in them for sure.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. You got a Shimano product this week?
I do. And I'm just going to talk about it here. So we've been talking about the new Celis rod that Shimano came out with. It's released. It's in stores now, so you need to make sure and check it out. We're also releasing a new Zodius, an updated Zodius rod. These are a very popular rod. It's a new blank with updated cosmetics. It's a blacked out rod. It had some red on it before. It's all black and a little bit of silver now. But it's an updated blank that you guys need to get in your hand. You need to test out. Retail on this rod is $260, $259. It's not a high-end rod, but it's in that medium category. It's a really, really good rod for that price. It's an upper-end rod that's at that $260 price point. You guys need to try out that new updated blank. Put it in your hand with that new carbon monarch handle. I think you're going to like. I love it. I love this handles. People are iffy on them. I love them. Some people love them. Some people don't care for them. It's got that new CI4 technology in the reel seat also. So get one in your hand when you find it in store. Check out the new Zodius coming from Shimano. It should be releasing mid-month.
Okay, good deal. Good news from Shimano. All right, here's the tip of the week. Well, a lot of our area lakes at very low levels right now. I just want to remind anglers, be safe when running from one location to another. Several lakes are at stages where stumps are just barely out of the water or just under the surface. Know where you're at all times and know where you can and cannot run. If you're not sure, idle. Just take your time, guys, and idle. This time, these lakes being this low, these fiberglass companies love that business. They love to have you come in there, or these service mechanics fix a new lower unit for you. So try to, we want to keep them busy and we need them to stay in business, but be careful out there because you can do a lot of damage to a lower unit right now, especially on Sam Rayburn. So be very careful out there. And but anyway, that's all I got for tip this week. Just be careful running, guy. And Toledo Bend, especially if wind becomes a factor. People have asked me, well, why is Rayburn different than Toledo Bend? I mean, the wind is wind. I was like, no, wait a minute. Rayburn, you don't have boat roads everywhere. Toledo Bend, you got boat roads, and you don't have a choice where you can run. You can't just run one side of the lake and get out of the wind like you can on Rayburn. But when it's on Toledo Bend and you're having to run boat roads out in the middle of the lake, them 3 and 4 foot rollers can really be dangerous. And so be careful when you're in that situation, especially on Toledo Bend.
Yep.
So, all right. That's all I got, Kev. You got anything else?
I think that does it for the week.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up. Please check us out on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. We got great numbers on Spotify. Make sure you check that out. Or however way you listen to podcasts, if you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please message us on our Facebook page, and Kevin will make sure he sends you a detailed packet. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.